What is up, guys? It's Adam, aka Marf, and this is Marfoogle News. This is an urgent broadcast for us, just because we wanted to let you guys know that we will not be doing a normal show today. It is nothing crazy, but we are actually preparing our stuff. Both Dex and I, in two different states, have quite a bit going on in our states as we speak. So I did want to bring you three of kind of the top things right now. I'm going to be placing this on all the platforms, and then I wanted to let you guys know that we will be returning, doing our normal show. Might even be able to do it late tonight, but again, when we do those late shows, it doesn't get onto the other platforms until really late, and then a lot of people end up missing it or having to watch the replay. So with that being said, there are a lot of serious things going around, but I want to make sure that people know that, you know, there's some positive things that are happening right now, and we want to make sure that everyone understands kind of what is going on and what's not going on and what kind of is that here and there. Just to let you know, they say, and by they, Associated Press and others say that tens of thousands of National Guard troops could be called up to help with this event. Now, this morning we had the teleconference with President T-Man, and he ended up saying a few things. Obviously, if you saw that, he actually looked like he was falling asleep, which is, I would think, a good sign, because if he's that bored at that thing, then he's not freaking out. But on the other hand, that conference, all of the governors called in, and some of the governors, I mean, you could just tell that the governors didn't know much. I mean, one lady got cut off. She just kept asking questions. She was like, hey, you know, what about this? What about this? There was even in my opinion, I thought it was almost funny. They didn't realize the lady was still on after he kind of cut her off. And then what ended up happening is that she ended up saying a question after they thought she was totally off, and then he's like, okay, go ahead. And then he was waiting there, and it looked like they actually cut her off. It just reminded me, because I run a call-in show, you know, people always accuse me of actually cutting them off or whatever. Maybe it was an accident, maybe it was on purpose, I don't know, but whatever. On top of that, as far as 10,000s or tens of thousands of National Guard troops, Chris Cuomo kind of corrected people. He said that these shelter in place and the words that the media are using. I'm sorry, it was Mario Cuomo, the brother, right?
Sorry, Andrew Cuomo.
Andrew Cuomo.
There's too many of them, but yeah,
the brother,
governor of New York.
And what had ended up happening? Can you say that real quick so we can get that kind of straightened out?
Yeah, sure thing, Adam. He made a really clear statement today. This is the governor of New York. He was being asked about shelter in place, about the word quarantine, and he was like, look, words matter, and the words that are being used aren't necessarily indicative of what the laws or what they're trying to do. And he went so far as to try to at least maybe debunk, I guess, what the MSM was doing with their messaging, saying that everything's on lockdown, you can't go do anything, when in reality, he was like, yeah, you can go out of your house, you can go jog the neighborhood, you can go walk a dog, you can go to your friend's house to let their pet out, you can go get groceries, you can do certain things, but they just want you to stay home when you're not doing those things. So it was just sort of interesting to hear that perspective, that contrast to all the other things that we hear, all the other things that we have going on, you know, through the rumor mill, through the network mill, through the trusted sources mill. There's lots of conflicting messages right now.
Yeah, I mean, people are saying that, you know, in Italy, if you step outside your house, you can get fined. People keep comparing to Italy. We are not Italy yet. So, again, I'm trying to stay positive. I want you guys to all stay positive. Somebody else asked, hey, you know, all these other channels are saying to bug out. What is your thought on this? Why are you telling people to? I said, I did say something in my other video. I said that is something that you would have to heavily weigh yourself. But the other thing I wanted to say is that if you really have the fears of the craziest things happening, I have covered stories in the last 6 months that basically tell me that even if you go off into the deep, dark woods, that the satellite systems that they have now, they could track a leaf move. So if that is your worry, I'm almost having problems. Like I'm wondering, you know, would you be safer in the city, or would you be safer out in the woods where they just go boom and quietly take care of something? Just saying. as far as that goes, there is a decision that you might want to make there. Do you want to spend lockdown in your house, or do you want to spend lockdown in a cabin or out in nature? That's one thing to think about. Would you want to spend the time out in the woods in a beautiful area instead of in a urban environment? Again, if you have the food and everything to go and do that, then who knows? That might be a nice vacation for you. As far as like what we're doing, it would cut off all communications with everybody. And I have to realize that, we are somebody who others depend on. Our services that we run, people are constantly using. Here's another thing, though, as far as the internet. And there's kind of some clues here that things aren't running as well as they want it to. Now, Netflix was asked to slow down streaming so the internet doesn't break. Now, this is what they are asking. They're saying that the European Union has asked Netflix to tap the brakes on its download speeds in order to reduce network bandwidth now that millions of people have committed to staying home. So because they have, very high quality film and video going through this site, that everybody home is basically bringing all of that in. And Netflix takes a lot. Back when I got DSL, when they said they had high-speed DSL, I was like, this is the slowest thing ever. It barely ran Netflix. It was something like 3 megabits or 6 megabits minimum to run, which is less than a megabyte per second, but it was like something like that. 8 megabits was a second. It took a lot of stuff per hour of watching, and essentially my DSL wouldn't even run it. So think about back when DSL was super fast and all this. Netflix takes way more than that, or at least that's my opinion on it. As far as this, is this kind of a thing saying like, oh, the internet's going to go down and they're going to say, it's because everybody's home? I don't know. But again, with infrastructure, with people not going out to fix physical things, I know somebody who's in the food supply chain, and they said half of their guys aren't showing up. And it's not because they're telling them to stay home. They're all being told to keep working. In fact, that's one of the safest jobs right now is in, grocery delivery and things like that. They said they're just not showing up because they're too afraid of catching this thing. So with that being said, what about power? The grid, power workers, somebody who's fixing the lines and things like this. So we really have to be careful and understand that even if this ends in 2 weeks, the next 2 weeks, the next month, the next 3 months is going to be a huge, huge time in history. Even if the entire world shut down like this for one day, it's a big deal. And now they're saying it could last up to 18 months. It could come back after summer. It could do this. It could do that. We don't know. And honestly, we do not know. Even on my military sources, they do know. Like, we're getting the facts that, military is mobilizing around the country. But is that for a nefarious reason, or is that for help? Are they actually going around and sanitizing? We might see both. We don't know. But it's not time to panic right now. It's time to, get your contingency plans in. And that's why I said, it's hitting real close to home. Obviously, even some of the people that I heard last week saying that they didn't even believe this was real, now they're on their channels saying they personally know people. They just lost somebody. So I just want people to know we need to be extremely careful in general. And with the internet, I don't know how long we'll even be able to do our show. Now AI is running different things. We don't know if that's going to affect us. They say that they're going to basically get rid of stuff they don't know, that might not violate anything. So who knows what's going to happen? There's no physical people there, apparently. With that being said, there's lots of things going on now. The hope, right, is that over in China, things are returning to normal. But there's a debate about that. There's stricter rules. Not everything's going yet. And even if it does get up to full capacity, everybody else is going to be hitting that same cycle. And, that is going to be very, very harmful to our economy. Some say that nothing's really coming out of there. That's the thing. So I really wish I could confirm that. We will see in the days to come. Americans are not being told not to travel, period, and to return home if they are overseas. And then, of course, we have almost half of the CV patients are actually saying that they're having digestive symptoms. So with all of these things that are popping up, we are going to cover them in detail, and we're going to make sure you guys know whether it's over here on DLive or over on YouTube. Holy moly. Sorry about that, guys. Whew. Let's continue. Whew. I've never done that. I've never scared the junk out of myself. You never know. It's a live show. Anyways, we don't know what's going to happen, so we have to just all get ready. A lot of people are saying get ready for this weekend. We don't know what this weekend holds. It might just be, a countrywide kind of rule change. We don't know. But again, we've got to be listening to the words they're using and make sure that those are confirmed. Here we have some local stuff that I want to try to check out. They, of course, are doing trials for this new thing that they're going to say that will help it here in my city. So I'm investigating a lot of stuff here, and I'm very thankful for you guys being here. So
on that note, Adam, they also announced today, so there's some other good silver linings here. Today they announced there's a malaria medication that has been used for a long time that they actually see promising results with. So they announced that they were fast tracking testing on that with FDA. So that's a good thing. And then the other one was the ventilators. People were saying, and you mentioned this in the show before, about vents, not having enough vents in the hospitals. Vents meaning ventilators. There's a certain type they need to treat CV patients. And they did some surveying and found that there's a model that's out that we've been using that they can convert, and they can convert it relatively simply. So they were able to procure 10,000 more of these ventilators through this method. So those are a couple of good things they found today.
Well, we'll be staying on top of it, and we'll be back. Again, we just want to make sure we have everything as well. Here's another thing. If you are not on shelter in place, or if it doesn't get worse than that, I would say go to a park and maybe just get some fresh air. That is something that, we take for granted. Italy cannot do that, but how they're talking, they're saying that we will still be able to go hiking and go to the local park and go over to your friend's house and watch their dogs. That was kind of almost the quote. So if that's true, no biggie, right? Whatever's really going on behind the scenes, we don't know. But we're going to be investigating the whole time, and we're most likely going to be doing some exclusive shows over on, of course, the platform that allows us to do that. And then on YouTube, we're going to make sure we're keeping it safe so we can reach as many people as possible, get them to our Discord. Once they're in Discord, that's a big deal. If you guys want to help support us in any way, EMP Shield, again, is something that is just smart. It protects you against EMPs, and it's used by DoD, Homeland Security. One thing I keep thinking about is that notice that they gave us in 2018 of September, I think it was, where they said all Americans should have 6 months to a year of food supply. And now I think forward to this, and I'm thinking, yeah, if everyone listened to that warning right now, it would have paid off. But that was because of the threat onto our grid. Now I think about the actual infrastructure and the people fixing it and things like this. Are our enemies going to say, well, they're sick, so we're going to leave them alone? We don't know. EMPshield.com is actually doing a contest. So even if you're having hard times right now and can't get one, you can at least enter to win one. In fact, win 3. There's multiple ways to enter, including daily bonus entries. You can go to marfooglenews.com/contest. There's multiple ways to do that. So again, that's marfooglenews.com/contest. And then if you would like to just purchase one, it's marfooglenews.com/EMP. All right, guys, thank you. Much love goes out to all of you, Dex. I hope you stay safe, and we're just going to get some simple stuff done.
Likewise.
Again, we spend 8 to 12 hours every day that we put this show together. We almost spent that and then realized there's some actual stuff that we need to get lined up. So it's just simple stuff. Again, I want people to make sure, don't take going outside for granted just because we might be sitting in the house for 2 weeks. So also try to get outside and get some fresh air. It's always good for all of us, and get away from social media and news for a minute, even myself. And then we'll be back tomorrow. I would say, honestly, let's be positive. Listen to some awesome music. Listen to something positive. and let's get pumped up, okay? We can make this, and we're a family, and get in our Discord, and we're a family as humans, period. So I love all of you guys, and I'm super thankful to have all of you guys behind me. And I don't know where my mind would be in a different place if it wasn't for such positivity coming out of the Foogle fam. You know, I've got 3 kids, and this kind of stuff is scary. People say, oh, fear this, fear that. You know, at this point, if you point your camera outside, it's scary. But you know what we can do is we can mentally get past that, and we can get past, Jacob Israel did a great video, get past that fight or flight, the part of your brain that is saying, oh, be scared. We can get past that, and we can think logically, have contingency plans for absolutely everything. Much love. Be safe, be prepared, and Marf out.
You want to know what's going on? What's really going on when it happens? Go to marfooglenews.com and get Marfoogle alerts along with a Discord invitation where you can find your local state group and get together with the Foogle fam. You'll find fast friends where you'll share prep and intel, and there's even special groups for former and current military. But don't try and steal the valor of those who have really served. It won't go well for you. The Marfoogle fam is waiting for you.